This time I'm really gonna kick it. I'm gonna kick the habit. This is the end of all my faults! Ugh!
All right, in my attempt to get back to covering all the teams like my sponsor who pays me wants me to do, I'm getting back to you guys. Bills fans have treated me so well over the years. I wished I could be covering a Bills podcast where the Dolphins beat you in your house, but it doesn't seem like I get to do that too often. It's been a while. This was a good game, though. I really thought the Dolphins were going to lose by more. Benford and Cooper being out definitely hurt my evaluation. We were missing Sealer and Kohu. We missing a lot of guys. But you guys, I gotta say congratulations. You're the daddy of this division. We're a ways away from you. You guys just entered into a kind of like a rebuild. And so we're supposed to be still in our peak. And we're not there. We played you close, though. And I'm going to go over the game and some things that I saw. I did a podcast of the Bills versus the Dolphins, but this won't be Bills focused. Allen obviously is really good. The way he's handling things, he's being more patient. He had to pick with Coleman. That was an unfortunate thing. I mean, for me, it felt fortunate. But I mean, for you guys, it felt unfortunate. But the way he was in catching a football was like weird. If it hadn't been for that, Allen would have had a phenomenal day. Obviously, his move skills, though they were called back for the holds, I could see maybe one of them. I got to go back and look. One of them seemed totally not legit. But Allen, generally speaking, has taken to this new offense. It's created consistency. And when you guys are able to run inside, Brady does a really good job. I thought as an OC, he did a phenomenal job. My only concern for Brady is when that inside run game gets slowed down, he kind of throws the whole plan out. I want to see him be able to adapt more when the inside run game doesn't work. Clearly, Shakir and Kincaid, really good players. Hollins came up for you, but when you take Cooper out, you can feel the compression. And I'm going to get into the stats I mentioned in a previous podcast. But Allen's been dropping his time to throw. It was 2.4 3 years ago, on generally speaking. Then it dropped to 2.35. Now you guys are in a 2.31 range, and sometimes a little bit quicker than that. And that's helping Allen with all the stuff. We blitzed you a lot, 35%, which is generally what you get. Are you able to keep the pressure rate down? Only 4 pressures really, or no, 6 pressures maybe on the day. 2 sacks. But a lot of that, I think, had to do with just Fuller and Ramsey are good players, and they were able to take some of the pieces off and kind of hold things down. But the run game for you guys inside, we're weak there and a little bit to the edge. Missed tackles. Both teams are pretty close to missed tackles. That really hurt. Davis is a heck of a find for you. Cook had a good day, but you could see that bringing the more physical Davis in there is a great 1-2 punch. He had that unbelievable pass, the short pass, which he took to the house. Our safety May missed that tackle, and it was a beautiful play. Great combo for you two guys. I really like the direction of this team. I still think, though, that you're not ready for the big game. Now, it can change as the season goes, but I have seen the game kind of move, and it has, to pass balance. And that really demands a lot of this inside run game. And you guys move to that in your approach on the offense, and it's been paying huge dividends for you. But your offensive line is playing really, really well. But I think a lot of it's the consistency. There's a few little talent issues. Torrance is having an up and down sophomore season. Your left guard struggles a little bit. Center struggles a little bit. Dawkins played well, but he got beat a couple times. Fell asleep a little bit on Chop, who's extremely explosive. But I mean, he's obviously Dawkins. He's good. Brown had a solid day. Overall, you guys are a good team, but you could see when you went against the Ravens, and they're dominant interior on both sides of the ball, and you guys kind of struggled. So I think you're going to have a lock on this division for a little bit. You're clearly going to win the division, clearly going to make the postseason. And it'll be interesting to see if you can stay healthy enough and maybe develop some things to start competing with the KCs and with the Ravens. That is where I think you're going to struggle. Can you get over the top with that team, that level team? I think in the future you will be able to. Bean's shown a great job being able to bring talent in here. You've got a great base. I think offensively you're set right. Defensively you need a little help because you can see how we ran on you. And we run on a lot of teams because teams play high. You guys blitzed us once. You didn't run blitz us. You didn't pass blitz us. You just played high over and kind of kept everything in front and allowed the offense to do their thing and try to make some big plays. Now, that recipe might work for us, but I'm not sure it's going to work well for, say, a KC and for a Ravens, or if you were to make the Super Bowl, say, like the Detroit Lions. And so in addition to that, building that D interior and maybe the edge, because Vaughn and whoever's on the other side, they struggled a little bit and were moved out. Rousseau, I got to go check his game. I think it was a pretty good game. Linebackers definitely need help. Got a small linebackers, which helps what you like to do. But when you get teams that are very big and physical, it kind of exposes you. But overall, man, you guys made the big plays. You bounced back from what could be an ugly interception. And, I'd said this in the Yellow podcast, but I'll get back to it again. Allen was 22 for 31. 222 on a day, 2-1, really should have been 2-3-0. Your play action rose a little bit to near 40%, which, your play action and screens to kind of mitigate things. But you were blitzed a ton, able to keep stuff off, but you got the ball out quicker. But it was a very, very short throw game for you. Cooper is going to be critical. I got to really reevaluate this thing with Cooper in it because he creates different leverage. He opens up the Coleman and the Shakir a little bit more and the Kincaid. So it'll be critical for him to stay healthy. But overall, this defense played really, really well. Bass, my man Tommy from Mafia Sports Report goes all going on and on about Bass. But a 61-yarder to win the game. I thought McDermott was crazy. I thought he was going to get punished for that challenge for Tua, getting the first. But it worked out well for you guys. I cannot believe. I thought you were definitely going to miss it from everything that Tommy was saying and from what I've been seeing. You guys doing the extra point there. But you got a really good team. I don't think you're on that final step, but you don't know how things play out. You don't know who's getting injured. You don't know how teams are going to get better. Allen is obviously really, really good, and he's being helped by what you're doing here. He's not taking a beating. He can save that body for the postseason, and maybe his postseason magic with a fresh body can get you over the top. I know you got Milano coming back soon. So overall, what am I going to say? I have to give my Dolphins some credit. We managed to keep it very close, and I thought we were going to win. I did. I have to say towards the end. But you guys, this is a big problem with my OC. People will say he's not a good caller at times, and he's not. But he adapted really well. But I was talking to Tommy midway through. After the first quarter, you guys are terrible in the first quarter as far as putting points. But I think I forgot what it was. It was very high second quarter and going forward. You guys make good adjustments, both on offense and defense. And it says a lot about what you got going here. I do think Bean is obviously the right GM for you. And it looks like you got the right guys on both sides of the ball calling. And you've got some really good, consistent tools. And what you're doing as far as this pass balance is keeping this defense fresh with pounding the football. 49% of the time you run the football. And this is something I talked about. If you watched me a couple of years ago, I said this is what is needed for this team. For Allen. And again, my man Tommy is the Super Bills fan. He said, we don't have an offense that supports our bad weather in Buffalo, but now you got it. So there's a lot of stuff here to be proud about. Just don't know if it's going to translate to the Super Bowl appearance or Super Bowl win. Plenty of time. I'll be covering you guys going forward and other teams as well. So congratulations. I thought you should have won a little bit more handily. I think Bedford is a very big piece to your defense, and clearly Cooper is a huge piece. Hopefully, hopefully for you guys, he stays healthy. So anyway, I'll get more in depth, start breaking down the film for you guys and statistics. One of the points, the last point I had said is that your ability to make run stops, I think you were like third best in the league. You had 5 more run stops than us, and that played out big too, got us off a little schedule. You guys did a really good job just letting us run, and then kind of pulling things together. And McDermott gets a lot of knocks from you guys, but this was a really well done game plan. And you guys look to be a little bit more clutch and a little bit more consistent than the past. So I'll be interested to see how you go for it. Anyway, guys, be well. Curtis out. See you soon. Start building your own online sports book today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.